Good morning, everyone. I was in a car riding home. I went home early yesterday. In the car around 11:15, 11:30 Eastern Time. The radio was on and up popped the President's news conference. I was really amazed at that performance. I couldn't see it, but I could hear it. I could hear the tone. It sounded to me like a campaign attack on the Republicans. There were so many misleading statements in that press conference. It almost defied belief. I don't shock very easily, but I was shocked at this. He says, we're going to go into default. If Congress doesn't agree to pay our bills, we'll go into default. Mr. President, that is not true. We have $2.5 trillion every year flowing into the Treasury from tax revenue. That is enough, and more than enough, to cover our obligations on our debt, which is specifically the interest on our debt. You only default if you fail to pay the interest and fail to service that debt. Mr. President, we will not default. And to threaten default and blame the Republicans for this threat is simply outrageous. Number two, we are not a deadbeat nation. The President used those words. What kind of a message does that send to the rest of the world? Calling us a deadbeat nation and blaming the Republicans and saying we are a deadbeat nation if you don't agree to give me a blank check? May I point out, Mr. President, a deadbeat is someone who pays a bill with money borrowed on a credit card which you will never pay off and whose principal balance you will never reduce. That is what the President is doing. It is the President who is introducing deadbeat finance into America's financial circles. That is outrageous. As I said, I was shocked at that. And I'm also shocked at the reaction of the mainstream media. All across the board, they are blaming the Republicans. They're taking the President's line. It is the Republicans' fault. It really is astonishing. We'll be covering it. We'll also be covering Armstrong, Lance Armstrong, and his confessional. I think the man is irredeemable, quite frankly. We'll also cover the power grab that this administration proposes with the gun control, not legislation, but executive orders. That is a power grab. We're looking closely at Facebook. My hunch is that they will introduce a new search engine. Not a new phone, but a search engine. That's just a hunch. That's pure speculation. I do not know. And we're also looking at stocks. Have you checked your 401k recently? By the way, 1/4 of all workers take money out of their 401k to pay their bills. That's a disastrous thing. But if you check the stock market, you'll see that it is close, very close, to an all-time high. Lots of things to go at on Varney & Company today. We hope you can join us in 3 hours.